Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm your host, M, as always. Welcome to Logcast number 19, I believe, but you can see the number. I think I'm right, though. I think we're at 19. The reason I get Logcast confused now is because my files are ahead. So, I'm not saying I'm ahead of these recordings. I'm saying that sometimes I get them wrong in the files. So when I make another one, I just go up. So, that's why I'm always confused. I've actually done this podcast before, but there was a lot of errors. I paused a lot. I think I was tired or something. And there were issues I wanted to talk about that I got confused on. I didn't know how to answer them because I never thought about them before. It was a podcast where I sat down and then I had to think about what I said. You know that scene in Smiling Friends when the guy was like, well, yeah, everything's momentary. When I kill myself, it won't matter. And then the guy just looked down at the ground. That was me right after I finished the podcast. Also, I had to keep drinking water. I don't know why. Like, my voice kept almost going, which usually only happens at the start. So, we're doing it again. That was a very intense start. Okay, I also had to add a point, because I started talking about something, then I was like, I didn't write this down. Okay, so, let me just start it off with this, actually. This was meant to be recorded earlier today, but I worked, and then I played Lego World on my Switch for an hour. I know I'm a little old. Lego World is like the only chill game I have on my Switch. And it was like $8, so I ended up buying it. And like, I don't know why, I'm addicted to that a little bit. That and a bit of Scott Pilgrim versus the World, because I just got that too. And I've been playing that. Those are fun. Dark Souls 1 is fun too. I originally, in the first take of this, I ended up talking about Dark Souls for like 10 minutes. And I wasn't really saying anything. The main point I was getting at was, Dark Souls 1 is a fun RPG, but I think Dark Souls 3 is a better Dark Souls game. That's what I was trying to say. And then I ended up going like, I might make a video about it. It's possible. I don't think I'll do it, but it's very possible. Okay, on to the first actual point. This is going to be more of a learning, YouTube related, vlogcast. So, I'm also going to try to keep this shorter than like an hour, because it's something with my editing software. Like, it doesn't want to work. And the other way I could do it would take forever. Like, if I started rendering it today, I don't know if it would be done today. So, the time I want this to go up is now about 8 o'clock. So, the better I can word myself and all this, the sooner? What? Okay. Anyway, first point, leaving to better yourself. So, there's a guy I follow. I followed him for a long time. Well, no. I followed him a long time ago, and I stopped following him after a certain point. Unlike most of the people, I go like, yeah, I respected this guy, and then he got arrested for diddling. That's not what happened. I just ended up, I don't know, growing up. The style of content he made was really outdated. Like, it was basically just a guy playing a game, like just cutting the game on and playing it. And the funny thing is, people go like, oh, that's the old age. That's the old age of YouTube. The old age of YouTube, the people who do stuff like they're in the old age, they don't work. The only person who I know who can make that work is like Angry Video Game Nerd, but he's always had quality on his stuff. When some people go like, oh, old time YouTube, it's like usually unedited, and most of it's like they have music in the back, but the rest of it's just there, and it doesn't really work anymore. And I ended up randomly, no, because I had the Scott Pilgrim game. I remember they made a playthrough on the Scott Pilgrim game when it came out 10 years ago, and I was like, oh, let me watch this. And I saw it said, it was a video in a clickbait title. I think it was like, I'm leaving, or like, I'll talk to you soon. It was something like that. And I was like, oh lord, he got canceled. And he ended up talking about like this whole time I've just been making videos, you know. I tried my editing, and I'm gonna say this. I never seen the editing. I've seen like one edit. It could be nowadays he edits, but from what I remember, like 10 years ago. Damn, I was like 10. Oh my god. From what I remember like 10 years ago, I don't remember any editing. There was one really big video he did that blew up, and that was really well edited, to my memory. But all his other stuff, it was like, you know, just cut on the camera and record. And he was basically saying, I want to take a break to improve on myself, because I haven't been improving. He was like, I look at everyone else around me, and they're just doing stuff better than me. And I wanted to talk about this just because if I were to take a break, like a week-long break, I probably would still do a Logcast just because that's how I am. It would probably be to improve stuff. Like, if I was to leave this, if I was to go like, okay guys, I'm not making a YouTube video, or I'm not making videos for this week, it would be because I just have stuff to do. Like, I have stuff to do to build this up, you know? Because, like, when people take breaks and they go like, I'm just not gonna do anything, it's like, that's how you lose, like, it's how you lose, like, relevance on here and on Twitch. It's like when people just stop. The thing is, when you really want to do something and when you really want to improve something, I feel like, I mean, like, you can take breaks, you know, big YouTubers do it all the time, you know, Corey's Catching and all them, but they've made it already. It's like, for us, it's like, you just kind of gotta keep going, and the only way that I feel like it would be okay for someone like us to take a break is if we're, like, still trying to build on something, you know? And I was saying that in the first draft because I was like, I do kind of want to take a video break to work on, like, NFY and stuff, just for me, because I'm gonna get into it a little bit, because me, myself, I don't know too many content creators like me. Like, how I mentioned it before, how I'm in with a group of VA people, and not a lot of them do YouTube. I think two of them do, but one isn't to the same extent as me, and the other, we are in, like, completely different categories, so there isn't much for us to normally talk about, like, oh, yo, you saw this video I did? And it's like, no. Do you see this video I did? No. Like, there's nothing for us to talk about because we're not in the same kind of genre. So, NFY would be my way of just giving people a place to speak about making stuff, because I don't know. I kind of just want to be in this area where it's just people talking about making things. Because I feel like I just want that. Because IRL, a lot of the people around me, like I said, they don't do this, they don't, you know, they're not into this kind of stuff, so they won't really understand what I'm talking about, or they just won't care what I'm talking about, and it's like, I'm like, that's okay, I guess, but, you know, it wouldn't hurt to go like, oh, hey man, what videos you working on? They go like, oh yeah, da. I don't know why he's talking like a sim, but you get my drift, you know. It's a common interest. And I haven't just sat down and looked for people for NFY in a while, and I want to do that. I think I'm gonna make a video on it, either tomorrow or Friday. I almost said the day after tomorrow like an idiot. But yeah, if I was to take a break, it would probably be for NFY, or to invest in a better microphone, because I watched my redo of a healer video over. I've seen that video over a lot of times, and just because I have to edit it, and I watched someone else make a video of redo of a healer, and like both of us made valid points, but I heard my audio and I was like, it might have just been because of those headphones, because I don't think I usually react like that to my own audio. Like, I don't think it's usually that bad, but like that time it just sounded awful, and I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. So yeah, I'm thinking about investing into getting like a mic. I don't know if Logcast would use them just because Logcast, the way they're set up is I use my phone. Because remember back at Logcast number 10, I was like, I'm going to start using my computer. And then I was like, there's not much I could add with my computer. And it makes the process take in some assets, it makes it take longer. So I was just like, I don't think I need to do that. So then I kept using my phone from then on. So yeah, that's what's going through my head at the moment. That was a lot of words for that one point. Losing yourself in your goals. Okay, this was I said this and I started thinking about it, and this is when I got caught up the first time. So basically, there's a person I knew. I'm not saying this as if they're dead. It's just like I don't think I really know them anymore. And their main goal is money, right? As a lot of people's is. And the person that they turned into is like not the person that I knew back then. By back then I mean like just a long time ago. And like it wasn't even like a thing where I knew them like that. Like I wasn't like best buddies and then they just went like, yo, fuck you. Like it wasn't like that. But it was such a drastic change. And the thing is, this is when I got caught up the first time. I was like, if I wanted to become like big on YouTube, right? And then I just started cutting people out. I said I don't think I would do that. I said I don't think I would do that, or I wouldn't get caught up in myself. And then I thought I ended up thinking of what if I got really big, if there was something I would do. And at the moment, like I said, like at the moment, I wouldn't do anything, like there's nothing super crazy I could imagine myself doing now, right? But like with growth like that, like when you're like big like that in this kind of field, because this if you make it big, is like mostly like a dream job, right? And I was trying to think like what possible things could I do if I ended up getting big on here? Like what nasty things could I end up doing? And then I thought of the possibilities of what I could do, and then it kind of like I could see it happening. I don't mean it like as in I intend to. I'm just saying if something goes wrong, I could imagine me doing things I wouldn't approve of right now, And I think that's just a fine line you have to walk, like not to just lose yourself to what you want, like so like you don't end up turning into something you wouldn't want to be, like something where like you could snap out of it and then go like, oh fuck, what was I doing, like to get personal, like there was a moment, not YouTube related, there was a time where like I had this realization of like, oh my god, who is this dog? And then I ended up adjusting as such, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. It's just like, don't end up becoming something you wouldn't want to be, like just losing yourself into what you want to be, because the thing is, my goal isn't like money, like money is the leave me alone thing, it's the I got the house, I get to live here, but that's not really my main goal. And because getting larger on YouTube is what I want to do, which is why I do it so frequently. And I feel like it's a lot harder, or at least it's a lot harder to get lost in a goal like that at the moment. But man, it's the amount of people who I've seen just go like nutty is like crazy. I was about to give a name drop, but I don't know. There was a guy I respected. I'm gonna just say it. Fuck it. Covaner Man 456. Back in the day, also 10 years ago, I was like, oh man, he's cool, and then he stopped. And I heard stuff about him now, and I was like, man, what the hell are you doing? I don't know. It's just don't end up going crazy. don't end up turning into like a Dark Souls villain where you just go crazy for no reason, you know? That's what I'm trying to say. That's the best way I can word it, you know? Like, this isn't like a TV show where I'm gonna end up with all the answers. I don't really have an answer for that. It's just like, don't let it happen. Like, I think okay, he says he's about to go on a little bit longer. The thing with me is, I could see it happening. Like, I could very easily possibly end up slipping into doing some nasty stuff if like I got really big. I could imagine it. Like, I wouldn't put it past me if I was to like slip into like a wrong mindset. And I feel like that's a good thing that I could at least imagine it, so I know what to avoid. Because some people probably just go like, it couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. That's how I was on the first draft. I was like, could that really be me? Could I really do that? And then I was like, I guess I could. So yeah, it's good to know that, you know, because it's good to know what you should avoid. But I don't think that's close for me at the moment. So just make sure not to lose yourself. Don't go crazy. Next point, learning from fallen friends. Ugh, dog. Learning from fallen friends and disappearing with no legacy. I think I've talked about these before. In learning from fallen friends, I do not mean they died. I just mean they left. And I've mentioned this before, is how like when I started off YouTube, there was like four? There's 3 or 4 people who used to make videos different than mine, especially back then, because back then I was stupid. And I ended up getting older, and by the time I was able to come back, because I got this computer and I was able to make like a full comeback, or at least when I got my phone, I ended up checking on my YouTube channel, and I looked, and they deleted their channels. And the main reason I put this point on here is because there was an artist I followed and I really respected him, and he deleted everything. Like, his Instagram does not exist anymore. And I'm just like, you know, I have no idea what the stories for the first 4 people who left are. My main guess is like work made them delete it. I can't imagine why you would delete a YouTube channel. Like, I don't. All the embarrassing stuff I have is private. Some people go like, why would you private those? Why did you private your old videos? It's legacy. It's like, oh, I mean, yeah, but it doesn't fit what I'm doing now. That's the only reason they're not on there. Like, I don't care that they're embarrassing. I don't. It's just, it doesn't fit what I'm making now. You know? Like, I don't want someone to go like, oh, what are his other videos? And it's like Sonic Roblox City Escape, you know? That was the real video I made 7 years ago. I don't know how old I was. It's just, I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't delete everything. I think it's sad. I think everyone who ends up leaving in this kind of field or whatever, there's lessons you can learn from it, you know, because some people go like, I learned my lessons from my storybooks or my anime. I don't know. It's just like, a lot of YouTuber stuff I've learned is from people who've left or got arrested, you know. It's just like, there's so many things I know to do and know not to do, if that makes sense. Like, how do I word this in like a normal way? It's just like, I couldn't imagine giving up on something. I can't imagine putting that much work into something and then just deleting it. Because all the people I'm thinking of, right, they all put a ton of work into it. The artist guy I'm talking about, he was there for, he said like a few months, but it felt like a year. I'm not gonna lie to you. The main problem with him was he wanted to, he was like, I love the naked woman body. And obviously, on any social media platform, you can't post that, you know? So, that's why he was upset. And then he ended up leaving. And I don't know if he completely gave up art. The way he worded it sounded like he did. And I'm just like, I couldn't imagine completely giving up on a dream like that, you know? I mean, like, I guess it's okay if you have a different aspiration. Like, if you were like, you know, I went to college for blank, but now I want to be a musician. You know, like, that's okay. Like, you can do that. Or, I've been putting all this work in on this, but now I want to switch to this. Like, that's fine. But leaving without any kind of goal just sounds, it sounds horrible. I'm not gonna lie to you. It sounds absolutely terrible. I feel like us creative type people, if you end up going from like having a dream and like getting it crushed or whatever, and then you're just sitting there without any goals in mind, I feel like that could lead to something dangerous, you know. Not going to give any specific examples, but it's turned into a broken machine. It can go ugly, you know. Blaming this is a rough one. Blaming the community and unable to avoid controversy. So there's a do I even want to give a gender? Yeah, let's just say they. Just so when I move on to the next point, I can just say the gender. So there's a person who is literally either I'm gonna say she because I already said this. So she's like literally a few months older than me. Like that's what blows my mind mostly, you know? The fact that a lot of people that I look up to now are like literally barely older than me, like at most like 5 years older than me, you know? And I think that's also the scary part is because a lot of the situations that they get into, at least the less popular ones, you know, like I wouldn't expect like who's young, like I wouldn't expect like the anime man to get into specific controversies, but but some of the smaller people I follow, when I say small, I mean like they're in the thousands, they're not, you know, up there. And some of the smaller people, they end up making like really dumb mistakes, and I'm just like, you know, it's a lot. And this person I'm talking about, she I don't know how to word it. Like, on God, I actually low-key wanted to text her about it like a few times. I was like, yo, I wanted to go like, yo, you don't have to do this. What are you doing? It's like her community is pretty not good. I'm like not gonna lie to you. At least from what I've seen, from like texts and stuff, because I don't follow her that serious. Like, I can't think of the last post I saw from her. That's what I'm trying to say. But I see her stories and stuff, and her updates are always on like negative things, and that's why I'm like, I feel like you shouldn't always be pointing towards that. I think she has depression disorder and might be bipolar. I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. I believe she does have depression though, and she ends up like always posting all this stuff on people who are like against her, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like there's some things I don't know. I don't think I'd let hit air. It's almost impossible for me to imagine that situation now, you know? But it's like, from what I've seen from other people and from what I've learned, it's not the kind of thing you should focus on, you know? Like there have been times where I've received a message or two and it's really bad. Actually, no, there was a whole time where I wanted to make a video on a certain specific thing because it made me so upset. This thing was a person. There was a person who made me very upset, and I was about to make a whole video on it. And then I didn't, because it was nobody's business, and they didn't need to know about it, you know? When it's small in between small parties, it doesn't really need to be aired out publicly, you know? The thing with her is, like, a lot of that stuff, I feel like this doesn't need to be seen by everybody. Like, it's stuff that could be, you could say it in DMs to the person if you wanted to. And like, not every time you get hate, you don't always have to respond to it. There aren't that many good reasons to respond to it on the internet. Because on the internet, right, people are dumb. People have that, well, they can't hurt me mentality. So then they just say all this nasty stuff. They don't care. They're not going to be correct. They're not going to go like, oh yes, that makes sense. If you were to go out of your way to harass someone you don't even really know, They're probably not going to. They're probably not. Those kind of people are not going to want to just talk to you and go like, "Oh yes, we've come to a mutual understanding. Thank you for talking and conversing with me. Oh, you posted me on your story hatefully. Oh yes, I understand. I will now back off." Like it'll work in a few cases where someone might catch themselves, but a lot of the time, those people are just nuts, and you're just giving them attention. So, you know, I'd recommend you don't do that. I recommend you wouldn't go back and forth with them because there's not much. They don't want to. They don't. I don't even really know what people want. Like sometimes you're talking to someone and it's just like, do you just want me to cry? Like, what do you want from me? I'm like, I could tell you you're right, and then you're still mad at me. I'm like, what do you want? Yeah, I don't know. There's certain stuff that she does, and I'm just like, you just shouldn't do that. I don't know if it's a choice for you anymore. I feel like it's just part of her character at this point. It's that bad, but there's just certain stuff you shouldn't do. I guess it's a teaching lesson for y'all, and you know, I wouldn't do it, so I've learned from it too, I suppose. And when I said unable to avoid controversy, it's like it's the same thing. I'm like, there's a lot of stuff. She goes like, people are trying to expose me for this, and to be honest, I hadn't heard of half the stuff people are saying she's getting exposed for until she posted about it. You don't need to air everything out publicly. You don't. Because it ends up going like, uh-oh. You know? Like, okay, I could probably get into it. It's the internet. So many people almost get exposed for this. People are saying she might be a pedo, right? I don't know the full logistics of why people are saying that. I don't know, because like I said, I only heard it from her, so I don't. I just heard her going like, "Guys, I didn't do it," and I'm like, "Do what?" It's like I wouldn't have known that if you didn't post it in your story. It's very hard to follow someone who's just in constant turmoil. You know, I don't know how else to explain it. It's like just know not everyone needs to know everything. Some stuff can just be handled on a smaller scale. You don't have to air it out constantly, almost every time. That's her main problem. She'll have an issue, and then she'll keep talking about it. I'm not saying this as a toxic male who doesn't understand women. What are you? What's wrong with you? I'm not saying it like that. Even if that was a dude, I'd say the same thing. You know, and I'm not saying it from the point of, wow, what do you dislike her? I don't dislike her. I don't feel any particular way towards her. I'm just saying that it's just not a very good choice. That's what I'm saying. And I'm ending that point off right there. Yeah, taking out anger on innocence. Okay. I want to say a name. This is another girl. So I'm going to say, you know, it's going to be she. These are two different she's. There is a VTuber lady that I follow. Again, literally, probably barely older than me. Possibly younger than me. But, like, it's ridiculous out here. And they're a VTuber. Yes, they are a VTuber. And they stream with a group, I'm told. Like I said, you know, a lot of people air out issues publicly, and like I said, I didn't know about these problems before. So they ended up posting this video, and they were like, man, all my friends, I feel like my friends don't include me in any videos, and I'm like, uh-oh. I don't know what she's talking about. And I was like, uh-oh. And she goes like, I feel like my friends don't include me in anything. Why am I always the friend that's not included in stuff? If you think I'm talking about you, I probably am. I don't know. I just need to be left alone right now. I'm like, when you have a platform, it's like that little childish stuff, it doesn't go well. Like, at all. It's like, if you want to have that little falling out, or you want to have that little moment, you don't have to post it on your story. I'm kind of guilty of this. You know, I got in a disagreement with someone and I posted it in my story. Your boy was a little hurt. I also did that to avoid other ramifications. So, when I did it, it was a tactical choice. Might not have been the best one, but it was a tactical choice. Because I knew what the alternative was. Yikes. I'm not telling that story for a good 10 years. But, like, that kind of stuff doesn't need to be publicly known, and it's like you're taking out momentary anger on a group of people. And the thing is, you can go back later and go like, sorry, I didn't mean it. But then, like, if that was me, I'd have that in the back of my brain, like, oh, so we don't include you and stuff? Like, you think I'm, like, sneaky? Okay. She might have said more than, what I said she said. Like, she might have said more than, I feel like y'all are excluding me. That's like a pity party post. I don't know. Stuff like that, I just wouldn't say. I go like, yo guys, what's up? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I know there's a thing of not everybody sees it. Logically, that's just posting about it online is not the best move. That's what I'm trying to say. It's just not. Because you're airing out like a 4-person problem to the world. I don't know how big she is. I think she has like 1,000 followers, maybe. I don't honestly remember, but it's like not 1,000 people didn't need to know that, you know. It's like I say, people on the internet are stupid. And now we get into the last point that I went into the first time, which is still not on the script, and I hate it because I ended up talking about it, I think, the longest. Cancel culture, right? People go like, name one good thing cancel culture has done. Here's the thing, right? I'm against it when cancel culture is done wrongfully, but there's certain people who just like need to be canceled. Like, okay, are we gonna say when Mini Lad got canceled, it was a bad thing? No, because he like diddled a child. There was another one. What's that name? Lion Maker, when he got publicly canceled by everybody, was that a bad thing? No. He also diddled kids. Romeo Lacoste, no, it was not a bad thing. They all did the same filthy, disgusting thing. And it's like, and people go like, "Yo, it's the internet fans' fault." Like, look, okay, if you're gonna make an issue public, right? This is the thing, because it's always like these big YouTubers go like, it's toxic, it's terrible, and usually it's like they're the ones who started all the time. It's dumb. Like, you can't bring don't bring like a sensitive issue up to like 1 million people and then go like, guys, stop, guys, no, please. Like, you can have disagreements, but like, don't make it something super serious, I guess. Yeah. You know, like DM them or something if it's that bad. You do not have to let the world know your issue with this person. All of these seem to be about the same kind of topic, and I'm just noticing this.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I word this? They end up getting mad at cancel culture, but they're the ones who start the problems. Yeah. It's like, don't let it hit the air. If you want it to be a little quiet, concerned issue, you know, I understand it gets leaked sometimes, and that's usually bad news bears all the way around. But like, some people, they'll go like, oh, let's send out the cancel mob, and then it goes the wrong way. Or they end up like somewhere in the middle, or they hate both of the parties, and they go like, guys, cancel culture is bad. It's like, what do you mean? Like, okay, here we go. Okay, I don't hate Pokemon. I'm gonna state that now. I'm not gonna go like, yo, Pokemon a ho, bro. Like, I don't care. I don't care about Pokemon at all. But I remember her complaining about cancel culture, and then didn't she try to use it against Gundam? I could be wrong. I honestly don't fully remember. No, she def did. She def did. Where she was just like, guys, dislike this guy's videos. Come on, let me roast his sponsors real quick. And then he lost the big brand deal or whatever. And then like, it's like earlier you complained about cancel culture, but then you like literally used it to cancel off someone's sponsor and stuff. I know most people when they say it, they go like, canceling someone's career. I'm like, I don't know what innocent person has been canceled? All the innocent people that have been canceled, it usually comes out that they didn't do whatever they were said that they did. And then they just keep going and then they're fine. Like, PewDiePie got canceled like 7 times. Like, it might have been twice. I honestly don't remember, right? And there's some people who still go like, man, I hate PewDiePie. And I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like a lot of people on the internet are sheep. I think that's the main problem, you know? Look, like, I was talking to someone, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I hate PewDiePie," and I was like, "Why?" And they were like, "He's racist." And I'm like, "Did anyone see the context of those 2 incidents?" It's not like he this is not how this is meant to go. Whoa. But it's not like he walked up to a black guy and was like, "Yo, what's up, my?" Like, that didn't happen. That was not the context of what happened. You know, context is very important. The second time was a little less defendable. The second time was pretty bad. The second time was a gamer moment. But you know, that's the second time I could go like, okay. The first time I was like, come on, come on. But yeah, I don't know. Like, no one really good has been canceled. Like, who really good has been canceled? Like, I can't think of one really innocent good I'm really trying to think, right? Like, there could be some, and I honestly just don't know them. I know that cancel culture is on a good person sometimes can go really bad. Like, someone can, like, you know, can I say that word on YouTube? They can unlive themselves, right? Like, they can decease, they can pass away from self-inflicted harm. I do get that, and that can happen, but keeping this on a bigger scale, right? Like, that is a bad thing. I'm not gonna go like, oh, he's glossing over it. Like, I'm not gonna do that. You know, that can happen, and that is a horrible thing. I just can't think of any really big examples of that happening. You know, like, who else has been canceled? Fitz got canceled twice. And the first time, the Caterino Fitz thing, that was pretty bad. And he came back. And, like, when he came back, like, there was a good week of people were like, oh, Fitz, you suck. And then he just came back. And then no one cared. I literally just had one. I lost it. But my point is, a lot of good people, when they get canceled and they just keep going, they're fine. Even some of the bad people, they keep going and they're fine. Mini Lad and Lion Maker both still make stuff. Granted, they got put on a lesser scale, you know, like, it did hit them. Like, their views and likes and all that, it took a hit from those posts, but, like, I think it was Swagger Souls who said it in some video on the internet. He was like, the only people who get canceled are the ones that let themselves be canceled, you know? Like, people are like, cancel culture, terrible, terrible. It's like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's only really super effective. You know, the other person lets themselves get destroyed. I know sometimes it leads to, like, doxing and DDoSing and all that, and that's, DDoSing is the game. But, like, you know, doxing and all that's horrible, you know? Like, no one should do that. That's just a horrible thing to do to someone. But, like, all the other stuff, it's like, I don't know. Like I said, I just can't think of a good person who got canceled and it led to something really, really bad. I just can't. I want someone to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see moving forwards, but that's my stance on cancel culture, and I guess on the internet perceiving people as a whole. I didn't expect all those points to be as connected as they were. I'm not gonna lie to you. That wasn't in the notes. Okay. Tomorrow I have to get ready for another talking video. Oh. Since we're at the end of the Logcast, I'm just gonna say it, because I think I'm gonna end this right after I say this point, because I don't have anything else to talk about in my notes. The next video I'm making is on redo of the healer, because I wanted to get more into it in the review, but I couldn't, and someone ended up making a point that I was thinking of it, but I didn't put it in the review. Like, I thought of it after I finished it, and then I was like, it's too late to go back. It's already uploaded. I've already sent it places, you know? That really sucked. So we're gonna be doing an extended conversation on Ryu of a Healer tomorrow. It was meant to come out Tuesday, and then I was just like, I don't like how I was. Because yesterday, like I said, I was like stuttering, I was pausing all the time. I was drinking water, like I said, so I kept pausing for that, and it was all not good. So I'm gonna be redoing it tomorrow. And my other plans for Friday, my videos that were scheduled for like Friday, I'm going to push them back to next Monday and Tuesday, because that just makes sense. And what's coming out after this Redo of a Healer video? We're gonna end off the week talking about NFY again, because I need to remake the NFY video, because I'm not gonna lie, I am not very content with what it is now. The old one, the one I made on my phone when I just figured out how to edit on my phone. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. I also think it's not good. I don't think it's neutral. I would say it's pretty bad. It looks like a kid made it. It looks like a child made it, and I think I can make it better. Don't fully know how yet. I just think I can make it better. Did I talk about this? I think I did. Yes, I talked about it last time. I talked about how I wanted to make a Cali mix. I'm gonna say it really quickly at the end here, just, you know, so I can confirm that I've said it. I want to make a Cali mix for her latest song, and I just need to think of something to mix with it, and then that will probably happen. Someone's probably wondering, why do you simp for Cali so much? Why do you like to mix her songs like that, since you've mixed every one of them except 2 at the moment? 2, because I don't like her first song. I don't hate it. It's just I don't like it. Yeah, I don't know. I like her music. That's really about it. I don't know how I ended up respecting Callie so much. There's a lot of stuff she says, and then I'm like, I've said that before. I'm like, it's cool. I don't know. I feel like every single Logcast I somehow end up mentioning Callie. I don't know. I don't think I have. There was a good stretch where I didn't. Like, I think there was a good 2 weeks where I didn't. But, yeah. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I have more Lego Worlds to play. Haha, probably not. I'm probably gonna play Dark Souls after this. And then after that, I'm gonna record the Redo of the Healer discussion. So, I'm gonna end this off here, so I can leave this to the process, so this can go up today. So, like I always say, I love y'all. I hope you sub. We got new videos coming almost every single day, because I can't even say every day because I miss Tuesday at this moment. So, yeah, I've been M, and I'm going to see you later.